In this lecture, you will install Git CLI on your Windows machine. To do that, launch your web browser, search for Git download or install, any of those. Scroll down, click on Git downloading packages from Git SCM. It will take you to the download page. Here you can click here to manually download. Automatically the download will start in many cases, or you can select 32-bit if you are on a 32-bit machine, or 64-bit if you are on a 64-bit machine. As you can see here, you are now downloading version 2.26 as of the time of this recording. Go ahead, download the version. For me, I have already downloaded it. To save us some time, under the downloads I have Git 64-bit. Double click on that guy. That will launch the installer. Once it is launched, we'll have to select certain configuration with which we want to work with while working with Git. So the very first one is the license agreement. Click on next. This is the path where you want Git to be installed. Leave the default program files. Git is the folder. Click on next. Select the components, which components you want to install. Leave the default components. Click on next again. Select start menu folder. So Git will start from the menu folder. That's fine. You can launch it from the menu folder. Setup will create the program shortcuts in the start menu folder of Windows. Next. You can choose the default editor for working with Git. When you launch a Git command, if you want to edit certain things, it will use the Vim editor. So leave the default as it is. This is important here, adjusting your path environment variable. If you want to execute Git commands directly from your Windows command prompt, the DOS prompt, then you will choose this default second option. If you are using a Git bash, which will simulate a Linux kind of bash on your Windows machine, you choose the first option. So we are going to execute the commands from the Windows command prompt. So leave the default, the second option. This will adjust the Windows path variable so that we can execute Git from our command line. You don't have to do that manual setup of path. Click on next. OpenSSL library. That's fine. HTTPS is the transport mechanism to communicate with the remote repositories once you start working with remote repositories. Click next. Default again. Check out Windows style. Commit unique style line endings. Here, if your project, depending on the project and company you are working for, if they are using a different style of ending conversions, you can check with your architect's leads and do this or select it. Yes, again a default. Configuring the terminal emulator. If you are using Git bash at some point, the default terminal it internally uses will be Minty. That's fine. We are using the Windows console, so doesn't matter for us. Click on next. Defaults again. Configuring extra options if you want. Install. So that was pretty straightforward installation. It will take a few seconds to finish the installation. Once it finishes, you have options here to view the release notes if you want to. Launch Git bash. If you have chosen the Git bash option, if you have Git bash, you can click on this and launch Git bash. We don't want to do either of those. Simply finish it. Launch your command line now. DOS command prompt, that guy right there. Type in git space --version. Hit enter. You see Git version 2.26.2. So you have successfully installed Git and you can start executing Git commands from your Windows command line.